Kunle and Dorothy were two lovebirds right from their school days. After Kunle's NYSC, he got a job in an engineering firm. Kunle was doing well financially, so he decided to introduce Dorothy to his parents and siblings. Kunle's mother was not in support of the marriage, but because Kunle loves Dorothy so much, he went ahead to marry Dorothy despite his mother's disapproval. Kunle's mom disliked Dorothy because she's from a different tribe. Dorothy is the eldest child of her parents. Kunle always supports Dorothy's parents and siblings financially. Kunle opened a big supermarket for his wife Dorothy. Kunle's mom was so annoyed that her son was spending all his money on Dorothy. Despite the ill treatment from her in-laws, Dorothy still continued showing them love and care. Kunle is a supportive husband and friend to Dorothy. We always advise Dorothy not to pay attention to how his mom treats her, that all that matters is that he loves her very much. Kunle and Dorothy has been married for 2 years, but there was no child to call their own in the marriage. Dorothy has visited many hospitals, but the doctors confirmed she was okay. Dorothy has even persuaded her husband to visit the hospital as well, and the doctor confirmed that nothing is wrong with both of them. Dorothy will always soak her pillows with tears, praying and crying to God to bless her with a child of her own. Sandra, Dorothy's friend, has persuaded Dorothy several times to visit Evibia, but Dorothy declined. Kunle will always comfort his wife Dorothy, and he seems not to be bothered about the situation. He will always says it's God that gives children, that whenever God is ready to give them children, he definitely will. Dorothy will always console herself with her husband's words of encouragement. Mrs. Tolu, Kunle's mother, brought a young lady to Kunle's house unannounced. Mom, who is this girl you brought to my house? Kunle asked. She's the new wife I brought for you to marry. Since Dorothy is barren and can't give me grandchildren. Dorothy cried, but she did not alter any words to her mother-in-law. Kunle, on the other hand, was so angry that he told his mom to take the girl out of his house immediately. She is going nowhere, Mrs. Tolu said. Kunle stood up from where he was sitting and dragged the young lady out of his house. Mrs. Tolu, seeing that her son will not heed to her advice, left Kunle's house with the young lady disappointed. Kunle hugged his wife and promised to stand by her. Every now and then, Mrs. Tolu, Kunle's mother, would go to Dorothy's shop and abuse her that she never wanted her son to get married to her in the first place, but her stubborn son did not listen to her advice. Now, see what the son is passing through. No child to show after 3 years of marriage. Dorothy, being a calm and humble lady, won't alter any words to her mother-in-law. It's been 5 years of childlessness. Dorothy will always cry and complain to her husband. I wish to carry my child. God, even though it's just one, Dorothy will always pray. One fateful morning, Dorothy woke up from sleep and felt somehow feverish. She complained to her husband and they decided to visit the hospital. To their utmost surprise, after the test result came out, the doctor said, "Congratulations, you are 2 weeks pregnant." Dorothy and Kunle were so excited, their joy knew no bound. Mr. Kunle took his wife to the most expensive restaurant in town for lunch. Dorothy was so excited. She was just shedding tears of joy all through their journey. Mr. Kunle makes sure his wife was very comfortable. He assisted with the house chores. Dorothy's pregnancy was barely 5 months when Mr. Kunle informed his mom about his wife's pregnancy. Mrs. Tolu didn't show any sign of excitement as expected. Dorothy returned from her supermarket one evening. She felt a sharp pain on her tummy. She decided to visit the hospital the next day. The doctor checked and discovered her baby was no longer moving. The doctor disclosed it to Dorothy. She couldn't control herself. She cried and asked the doctor what actually caused the miscarriage. The doctor said he could not really figure out what happened, but she should keep her hopes high that God will bless her with another baby in due time. Few months later, Dorothy got pregnant again and miscarried the baby. Dorothy was so sad that she wanted taking her life. Her husband, Kunle, would always console and encourage her that the baby that is meant to stay will stay. Sandra, Dorothy's friend, tried to plant evil thoughts in Dorothy's head, saying, "This one your husband is not disturbed about your childlessness, and he refused to marry the girl his mother brought for him. Are you sure he's not involved in all of this? Or is he using your babies to gain more wealth?" Dorothy was so surprised that her friend Sandra could say such a thing about her husband, judging from the fact that her husband is a devoted Christian. "I won't tolerate you saying this rubbish about my husband," Dorothy warned Sandra. "Sorry, oh, I'm just big concerned." Dorothy got home and started reminiscing on what her friend Sandra told her. "It could be true," she said. "I'm really surprised that my husband is not really bothered about this whole situation." Dorothy started behaving strange towards her husband, but she did not really say anything like accusing him about their childlessness. Mr. Conley noticed his wife's attitude and thought maybe she is overthinking because of their childlessness. One Sunday morning after church, Mrs. Fola, a new member, approached Dorothy and said she wants them to be friends. Dorothy accepted and they exchanged contacts. Mrs. Fola will always send Dorothy text message to encourage her and boost her faith, though she don't know what was going on in Dorothy's life. Mrs. Fola visited Dorothy. As they were discussing, Dorothy told her what her friend Sandra said about her husband. Mrs. Fola was so surprised. She asked Dorothy if she has confronted her husband already. "No, I haven't," Dorothy replied. "Oh, thank God you didn't confront him more. You have to cut all ties with that your friend Sandra. She's a bad friend." Kunle surprised his wife with a brand new car on their 8th-year marriage anniversary. Dorothy was so excited and she thanked her husband for showing her love despite the fact that she has not been able to bear any child for him. "My dear, it's God that gives children," Kunle said. Few months later, after their 8th-year marriage anniversary, Dorothy got pregnant, but she seems not to be excited about it. So also Kunle. They decided not to disclose it to anybody, even Kunle's mother, until Dorothy put to bed. Dorothy's pregnancy was 6 months and she is so strong and healthy. Mr. Conley and Dorothy were so optimistic because this is the first time she carried pregnancy for 6 months without any miscarriage. 9 months later, Dorothy was close to her delivering date. When her mother-in-law came visiting, she was so surprised to see Dorothy heavily pregnant. She blamed her son for not informing her all this while. Mrs. Tolu decided to stay back to take care of Dorothy. Few days later, Dorothy fell into labor. She was rushed to the hospital by her husband and mother-in-law. Dorothy has been in labor for 6 hours, but the baby was not forthcoming. The doctors and nurses tried all they could, but all to no avail. They decided to book her for emergency cesarean section in order to save her and her baby. A particular nurse came out and told everybody to go out of the delivering ward and sit at the reception. But Mrs. Tolu refused, insisting she wants to be with her daughter-in-law. The nurse insisted she should go out. She reluctantly stood up and the nurse noticed a folded wrapper fell from her seat. Mama, what is that just fell from your seat? The nurse asked. Nothing. It's just normal wrapper, Mama said. But immediately the wrapper fell down. The baby came out and started crying. The nurse confronted her and drew the attention of her son, Kunle. Mrs. Tolu was so ashamed of herself. She knelt down and started begging and crying. She said, I have been responsible for their childlessness all these years. She said she never wanted her son to marry Dorothy. And since he went ahead and disobeyed her and married Dorothy, that they will never hear the cry of a baby in their home. That they were so lucky that they did not inform her about this particular pregnancy on time, that she would have manipulated it and Dorothy wouldn't have been able to carry this particular one to term. Mr. Kunle was so disappointed at his mom and told her never to come close to him and his family again. Dorothy gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, and years later, God blessed them with other children. Thanks for watching my video. Please do well to like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click on the notification button for more stories. Bye.